Have you ever felt like there's a weight on your chest, an invisible expectation that you just can't shake? It's as if everyone else seems to know the rules of this game, but you're stuck trying to figure out what they are. And no matter how hard you try, you feel trapped by the pressure of meeting these unseen standards. Invisible expectations can sneak up on us in childhood or emerge later in life through relationships and societal norms. But what if I told you that these expectations aren't just random? They often stem from emotional neglect and can leave us feeling like we're walking around with a perpetual shadow following us everywhere. This video will explore the origins of invisible expectations, why they're so hard to shake, and most importantly, how to break free from them once and for all. You know that feeling when you're walking down the street, and suddenly someone's gaze lingers on you. You might even catch a glimpse of their judgmental expression out of the corner of your eye. It's as if they're silently saying, "You should be doing this differently." Or maybe it's not someone else's expectations that weigh on you. Perhaps it's the ones you've internalized from your own childhood. Think back to when you were a child. Did your parents or caregivers have high standards for you? Maybe they expected you to excel academically, athletically, or creatively. As you grew older, did those expectations transfer into your relationships with others? Perhaps you felt like you had to be perfect in front of friends and family. As an adult, these unspoken expectations can manifest as a nagging sense of inadequacy. It's like carrying around a heavy backpack full of shoulds, musts, and have-tos, always wondering if you're measuring up. The truth is, invisible expectations often stem from emotional neglect, the unspoken message that we're not enough just as we are. As these invisible expectations seep into our minds, they can start to shape the way we think about ourselves and others. We might find ourselves constantly overthinking a situation or conversation, replaying it in our heads like a broken record. What did I say wrong? Did I come across as too loud or too quiet? The what-ifs swirl around us, making it hard to breathe. Or maybe you catch yourself people-pleasing, always putting others' needs before your own. You sacrifice your free time, your energy, and even your happiness just to make sure everyone else is happy. But in the end, are you truly fulfilled? And then there's self-sabotage, the pattern of behavior that holds us back from achieving our goals or living up to our potential. We might procrastinate on a project or avoid taking risks, all because we're secretly convinced that we're not good enough. I know someone who always puts off asking for help until it's almost too late. They hide behind their masks of independence and self-reliance, even though they're drowning in their own expectations. You know how sometimes you feel like you're carrying a heavy backpack on your shoulders? It's not just the weight of schoolwork or responsibilities that's exhausting. It's also the invisible expectations that we place upon ourselves. These are the shoulds and musts that creep into our minds, whispering that we're never good enough. Take Emma, for instance. She felt like she had to be perfect for her parents' sake. She'd spend hours cooking dinner, cleaning the house, and helping with chores. But beneath all this busyness, she was drowning in anxiety. Every failure or mistake made her feel like a disappointment. These invisible expectations can erode our self-worth over time. We start to believe that we're only worthy if we meet these arbitrary standards. It's as if we're walking on eggshells, never daring to make mistakes for fear of shattering the illusion of perfection. But what happens when we finally crack under the pressure? The weight of these expectations becomes crushing, and our mental health begins to suffer. As we navigate the weight of invisible expectations, it's essential to examine where these burdens originate. Childhood experiences play a significant role in shaping our perceptions of ourselves and others. Think back to your early years. Did you have parents who pushed you to excel academically or athletically? Or perhaps they had high standards for behavior, forcing you to suppress emotions like anger or sadness. These expectations can become deeply ingrained, making it challenging to recognize when we're internalizing them. It's as if we're carrying around a set of invisible rules, crafted by others, that dictate how we should live our lives. For instance, imagine being told repeatedly that you need to be more outgoing or more confident. At first, these comments might feel like constructive feedback, But over time, they can become a self-fulfilling prophecy. You start to believe that your worth is tied to meeting these external expectations, rather than embracing your authentic nature. This subtle yet pervasive conditioning can have lasting effects on our mental health and relationships. By understanding where these invisible expectations come from, we can begin to release the emotional weight they carry. As we delve into the external sources of invisible expectations, I want to draw your attention to a particularly insidious one: toxic relationships. We've all been in situations where someone else's needs or desires become our priority, often at the expense of our own well-being. Think about it. Have you ever found yourself consistently canceling plans with friends because you felt obligated to be there for a partner? Or perhaps you've taken on too much emotional labor in your friendships, trying to fix someone else's problems. These dynamics can be likened to a never-ending leaky faucet, slowly draining our energy and sense of self. It's as if we're living in a state of emotional subservience, constantly putting others first without questioning the fairness or sustainability of these arrangements. To break free, we need to acknowledge that it's okay to prioritize our own needs, even when it means setting boundaries or distancing ourselves from toxic relationships. Now that we've explored where these invisible expectations come from and how they weigh us down, let's talk about what you can do to release them. One crucial step is to practice self-compassion when you inevitably fail to meet someone else's standards or your own. Remember, it's not about being a good person. It's about being kind to yourself in the face of unrealistic expectations. Think of it like trying to fill an endless bucket with water. No matter how hard you try, it'll never be full enough. That's what invisible expectations can feel like: an unquenchable thirst for approval and validation. So, let go of the need to constantly please others or achieve perfection. Instead, redefine success on your own terms. For instance, Sarah realized she was exhausted from trying to balance her partner's needs with her own. She had to set boundaries and prioritize her own self-care. It wasn't easy, but it freed her from the weight of invisible expectations. What can you let go of today? What small step can you take towards releasing these burdens and finding your own path? As you work to release these invisible expectations, remember that it's a journey, not a destination. It's like trying to untangle a knot. Every step forward is progress, but there will still be loose threads left behind. Don't worry about having everything sorted out right now. Just focus on the next thread. And what does sorted out even mean? Is it truly possible to be free from expectation in this lifetime? As we've explored the weight of invisible expectations, I want you to take a moment to reflect on how this journey has felt for you so far. Have you caught glimpses of freedom in those moments when you let go of someone else's ideal? Or have you found yourself slipping back into familiar patterns, like a comfortable yet constricting sweater? Perhaps, like me, you've struggled with the notion that being sorted out means having all the answers, being perfect, or meeting someone else's expectations. But I want to remind you that this is not a one-time achievement, but rather an ongoing process. You are not alone in this journey, and it's okay to be imperfect. In fact, embracing your true self, with all its quirks, strengths, and vulnerabilities, is the greatest act of liberation we can offer ourselves. Remember, freedom is not about achieving some distant goal. It's about being present with yourself, exactly as you are, in this moment. As you release these invisible expectations, you'll begin to notice a sense of ease, a sense of freedom. You'll start to live more authentically, without the weight of shoulds and musts holding you back. Remember, it's not about achieving some distant goal. It's about being present with yourself, exactly as you are, in this moment. Every step towards self-acceptance is a step closer to freedom. You have the power to create a life that truly reflects your values and desires. It won't be easy, but it will be worth it. You'll start to show up for yourself, to prioritize your own needs and happiness. And when you do, you'll find that everything else falls into place. You're not alone in this journey. There are countless others who've walked the path before you, who found freedom from invisible expectations. They're out there living their truth, and they want to support you on yours.